Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to look at picking this absolute behemoth of a padlock. I mean, I don't know how much this weighs, but it's really heavy. It's a Mul-t-lock C16 padlock, I believe, and it's got the classic core in it, which has got pinning pins and they're all serrated. So yeah, pretty well pick resistant, but we should be able to get them open. Let me just give you an idea of scale. So that's an American lock 1100. I mean, this thing is just an absolute unit. It really is. I've got this other C series here. I've picked this one on the channel before, but yeah, again, it's just dwarfed by it. I think it's probably my biggest padlock. Now, when I got this padlock, it was in a real sorry state. It was rusty. It had lived a really hard life. The key barely worked. It barely turned. I could barely get the shackle out. The key was bent. I've straightened it out a little bit. It's still a little bit bent, but I don't want to straighten it anymore just because I'm going to risk breaking it. But yeah, the whole thing was completely rusted. I'll show you some photos later on in the video. So what I did is I took it all apart, which I had to use hammer for and all sorts of tools. You know, it was not easy, and cleaned everything up. I had to polish this section. I didn't even realise that on the C series that's actually brass. I think it's some sort of painted or treated brass. But yeah, in order to get this section working again, I had to sand it all down, do all sorts to it. But anyway, I've got it working, so I thought I'd feature it today. And to pick it, I'm going to use these beautiful picks. Excuse me. I received recently from Nigbee. Now he's been making a lot of custom dimple flags, and he sent me these two. And I asked him if he could, just to give me, I'll show you the tips there, to give me these slightly pointed tips, because one of the picks that I really was lacking from my current dimple picks was a nice pointed flag like these two, just to get those inner pins in pinning pin locks somewhat like this one. Anyway, so we'll get him in the vise and yeah, see if we can't get him picked. So I was going to pick this one in the vise, but it actually turned out really difficult to get a good camera angle because once it's in the vise, it's raised up so much higher on the table, and it was too close to the camera, and I'd have been kind of banging into the screen with my pick. So I'm going to attempt to pick it in hand, which is difficult with a heavy padlock like this, but I'll probably use my bench here to take most of the weight. So first up, I'll go in with this multi-pick number 4 and see if we can't get a lot of these pins set. So obviously I've taken this one apart when I was restoring it, and I know that we've got serrated pins in here, so they do take quite a lot of clicks to get them set. So there's a lot of going back and forward in the lock. I'll have a little click there. I think that was 4. Click on 2. Yeah, because they're serrated, you just get lots of little clicks. You just got to patiently keep cycling through and just tapping all the pins down. Starting to feel the strain in my left hand now. I don't want to drop that. Don't want to drop that tension. Now a little click down the back. Let's go in with this Nigbee pick. Yeah, I like it because you've got that. It's a slightly, I can't quite see it, but it's slightly pointier tip than the multi-pick one. I think we are moving closer. all of a sudden we should, oh there we go, it just went. We just got a deep full set. I was just saying all of a sudden we're going to get a deep full set. That means that we're on some of the inner pins. So I'm just going to use this pick here. As you can see, it's quite pointy. And see if we can find whichever pin or inner pins is holding us back. Didn't feel him there. Come on, where are you? I've picked this one before and I've been in this situation, and the lock was actually open. You know, it's kind of like an 1100 because I'm putting quite light tension on. It's all picked, and yeah, you haven't actually turned the core. So I'm just going to occasionally just pulse my index finger on my left hand. Come on, where are you? There we go, it was right down the back. And we got this one picked. Beautiful job. Right, we're going to get some gutting tools out and I can show you inside. First we need to get rid of this little grub screw. I don't seem to have the right tool for it, so just bear with me. Let's see if I can find one. There we go, perfect fit. So when I was originally, let's clear a bit of space. When I was originally restoring this, this middle section, it just wouldn't come out at all. You can see that moves freely there. It didn't come out at all. I had to kind of wedge it in the vise, put a block of wood on and smack it with a hammer. I really beat the hell out of this, and it just slowly, you know, eventually came out. And let's try and get this out without dropping anything. Yeah, because I think it's been out in the elements. As you can see, it's kind of rusted inside there. And obviously the brass don't rust, but I think that rust and corrosion just built up all around the insides, and that wedged this brass section inside. So first thing not to lose is the spring, just up there for the shutter. So we'll take him out and then take that shutter off. We can see that core in there, and that will just slide out. So I'm going to put my finger over that. Yeah, all of these components, actually I'll put a little photo up here so you can see what this looked like when I was cleaning it up. So as you can see there, absolutely covered in rust, and yeah, wasn't working very well at all. So got two locking pulls there, and that's the spring that pushes those locking pulls apart. And that's our core in there. And this is the tricky bit. This is where you've got to be careful, because as I push this through, there's nothing holding that Bible to the core. So as I slide them out, I need to kind of pinch them together. There we go, so far so good. As you can see, I polished this. This was really corroded as well. And in order to get it sliding in and out of that sort of outer body, I just sort of sanded it all flat and kind of polished it up. But I think it looks quite nice in the brass. Anyway, let's try and get this this gutted. I've not really found a pretty way to do this. How shall we do it? I'm just gonna, shall I just let them go? Yeah, I'm just going to let them go. So you can see the top pins there are all serrated. And let's slowly, yeah, or they're all exactly the same. You can see them there. So I'm just going to get all of those out. Doesn't matter what order we put them in, because they're all exactly the same. And that's the inner pins in there. If I grab the key, You can see them all working. It's a great shot, that. All the inner pins and the outer pins going up and down. When I first took the padlock apart, when I was restoring it and to clean it all up, obviously this was all, you know, really gunked up. I had to soak the whole padlock in WD-40. So when I was first stripping it down, this was a really, really messy process. Oh, come out. It was a really, really messy process. And when I took the Bible off to do the disassembly, the whole thing just exploded. There were pins everywhere, and I had to put together, it was just a real jigsaw puzzle to put it together. Let me just quickly arrange these pins a bit nicer. Let's keep all the springs over there. I can show you these pins. So yeah, all the top pins are serrated. Just see those serrations at the bottom, and they all have the sprung inner pin. Just grab that and I'll show you. Yeah, you see that sprung inner pin that the Mul-t-lock have. And then the key pins, obviously we've got the pinning pins, and these ones look to be kind of torpedo shaped, number 3 and number 5. So yeah, really nice pick that. The fun bit with these padlocks is putting them back together. The trickiest bit is, you know, putting this bit back on without having all of those springs shooting off everywhere. So I'm going to probably go away and do that, and yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to put that on camera because that could take some time. So there we go, all back together and working as it should. I did have a slight disaster when I was assembling that core. One of the springs pinged off, so I had to crawl around on the floor here until I find it, but luckily I did. Anyway, really nice padlock. Glad that I got this one restored and in working order. And yeah, thanks again, Nigbee, for those picks. They're really coming in useful. I'm working my way through a whole host of pin dimple locks with those picks. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.